Hi, Jim here. This is day 2 of the initial uh, signs of groups of bees going into a couple of my baited nukes. And so here's day 2. They're going all around that box. They were going underneath of it, around the back, just hovering around the back here. So how does it look back here? I don't know. I'm gonna buzz around this back. They were all back in there underneath, on top, just doing circling all the way around the top and underneath. Yeah, day 2. And there was no swarming. There was no swarming. There was no groups going into any of my baited nukes for about 3 weeks. So, and then all of a sudden yesterday, there was the groups. The groups were back. They were in there doing the cha-cha or something. And so that's the same box and the same tree, cherry tree, that I caught the last swarm in. And the peach tree is where I've caught all my other swarms. So apparently they like the trees better. I haven't caught any of my baited nukes. I just kind of had closer on the ground. I had one in the window there. And they like going in it, but they didn't want to occupy it. And I have, there's one way over there on the house there. And then there's all these here. And they didn't want to occupy any of those. There's maybe 1 or 2 scragglers going in and out, but they are occupying. But there is groups in that one again. So I put a bunch of frames in there. Six frames. So I have once again. I have groups of bees that are going into boxes. Now, there's really no sense in going out of your way or doing anything to try to catch a swarm if you're not seeing any of the evidence. There's nothing happening. Maybe you see one bee going in now and then. That's nothing. Nothing's going to happen. There needs to be a lot of girls going into a box. That is your first sign. A couple? Nah, probably not. But maybe. One? Now. But 5, 10, 20, 30, like up in that box right now, it's swarming out time. They're coming. They're coming from somewhere, and they might be coming right from here. They might be coming right from that one. That is the first swarm I caught this year, and I fed them so heavy. And what I've got is in the back of these 3 hives here, I've got, I'll just show it, a screen that allows more airflow. So in the summertime, I got these screens that I just pull right out. So all these have a push-in screen, so it allows more airflow through the box. And some days when I put that, there'll be a bunch of them out there fanning, and I'll put those in, because when it's cold nights, I'll put a wood strip in there, and then I'll take, when it's warmer, I see those girls out there fanning, I'll take those wooden strips out and put those screens in there, and most, if not all of them, stop fanning within a few minutes because there's a nice breeze coming through. They're going, oh, this is what we're doing, because what they do is the bees are always fanning on the inside when you got nectar flow, which there's a lot of nectar flow right now. And so they build that pressure up inside the hive with their wings, and that creates a draft, an outward draft, pressure, pushing that moisture out because they're trying to dry that honey. Get it down to that 18% or so. And the only way they can do that is by creating that pressure inside the hive using their wings. And, um, and it also serves a double purpose by removing the moisture and cooling the hive. So you've got a lot of girls in there fanning, and then you've got sometimes if there's not a good enough exit for that pressure buildup, you'll have some girls out in the front also trying to grab more of that air and moisture and or maybe heat and pulling that, assisting in pulling that out. But when you got a nice airflow going through, yeah, they don't have to fan. They can go do something else. Go do the cha-cha or something. And so yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have 5 hives. But I gotta say again, same thing around the same time happened last year. And I thought for sure I was getting all my next box ready, you know, getting all geared up to put, you know, for my next hive, and it didn't happen. And they went somewhere else, or whoever owned them did a split, or they added a box, an empty box. And so, yeah, they might be coming from that hive right there. That is one packed box right there. I think they are pretty heavy. Yeah. So by feeding them for a month after I caught those last month, oh no, that wasn't last month. Excuse me, that was the other one on the right. That one over there was last month. This one was middle of April. So by doing that middle of April, feeding them really heavy, I think they're getting ready to do a split. So what I've decided to do was, okay, I hear you. Don't get your wings in an upset. And okay. And so, oh, I lost my clipper. No clipper. I put a little clothespin here to hook it. I got something here. And so, something. I got something. Something, honey. I got one on my. Yeah, I wear these things around my neck because that sun beats down because I'm outside so much. That sun beats down, and that's not. Next thing you know, you get all these brown spots over time, deep skin damage, and all the little spots I have. I seen those when I was 15. I got a really bad sunburn, so bad my skin floated. It was floating on water. Went to the emergency room. They got this blue light thing out. She goes, "Oh, you're gonna have freckles all over." and I do. Actually, I had more back then than I do now. Yeah, not sunspots, but they're spots that were induced because of the damage done by the sun. Sunspots. Could you imagine having sunspots on your body? It's a metaphor, right? Yeah. Collagen damage. So, yeah, it's day 2. So, yeah, really typical. So for the first day that I noticed bees starting to go out in groups. What was this thing? Oh. Jimmy, you gotta know how to work your camera tripod. You know how you don't use something for a long time and you go to use it and say, how's this thing work? At one point in time you were using it just fine and you knew all the functionality of all the things, and then you go for a long period and it's got all these different aspects that you gotta maneuver and change and manipulate, and you go to start doing those things, you go, how come this ain't working? You know, and you've already done 10,000 different things since then. Right? The brain can only take in so much stuff. Got to prioritize. And so, yeah, so when you see those large groups, go into overdrive. Get really serious. Because it's only going to be a couple days. A couple days, you're going to know you're going to know one way or the other. It's you're either going to get it or you ain't going to get it. I'm going to get it, going to get it, going to get it. And so the when I first started trying to catch swarms, I was so bad. I watched so many videos, YouTubes and stuff, how to catch swarms, and none of them matched what I needed to do in my area. That it just didn't match for some reason. Either that, there just wasn't no bees ready to swarm out. But once I got into a swing of it, and checking that hive every day for bugs and ants and spiders and earwigs, and once I got in a rhythm of what to look for, so not much checking for ants and spiders when there's no activity. So to check for ants and spiders every day when it's kind of like throwing your bait out in a lake and there's not a single fish out in it. It's just counterintuitive. So yeah, so just wait for that first sign. Just be attentive, and knowing that it's still swarming season, because this is June, still swarming season. Swarming season around here is March on, and typically around middle of April is when most people are going to catch their first swarm. Sometimes they go a little early. My hive, if I didn't do the split at the end of March, 1st of April, yeah, they were going to split out. So yeah, they were going to swarm out of there. So 1st of April. Even with that screen, I got a lot of fanners over there. That just means that box is really full. She was laying heavy. And so it looks like I'm going to have 5 hives, and I only have, I made 6 homemade brood boxes, and then I had one that I bought when I first started, and 1 super, so I'm going to have to make supers. I need to go find some wood. I don't think I have enough wood to make all that stuff. I need to go Home Depot in the back. Needs to be around 3/4 inch, and yeah, just make some supers, about 5 or 6 supers, well, 4 supers, well, maybe 5, and a couple more brood boxes. Now the thing is, when we use brood boxes for a honey box, I made a video on that. That thing was like 150 pounds, if not more. That's like taking 150 pounds and putting it out in front of you, trying to set it down. Yeah, that was a shocker. I didn't anticipate that being full of honey. I fed them too much. And so, yeah, the reason why the supers are about the half the size is because when they fill up with honey, they're easier to manage. They're only about 90 pounds instead of 160 pounds, or 150 or whatever. Yeah, that was one doggone heavy brood box, man. I wasn't ready for that. Should have worked out a little bit more that morning. Get pumped up better, and get myself ready for that. But in the future, I'll be ready for that. So it's about when we're going to take off when we have a double box and we're going to take off a top box and we haven't been in there for a long time. It's best to really get your muscles tight. Get ready for something that's really heavy. Get your feet balanced. Don't assume that it's mostly empty. Yeah. And so yeah, all these beehives except for one's going to go way back there. It just has to. If I'm going to have this many if I'm going to have about a half a dozen beehives, yeah, I don't have any choice. Got to do it. Got to do it. Got to do it. And so. Yeah, and you folks now, here's another thing. The vast majority of people who have bees, they're not farmers. They're not selling anything. Maybe, they're backyard beekeepers like me, right? Those are the people you want to listen. Those are where you want to get most of your information, right? And management, how to manage, the best way to manage your few bees, 3 or 4 hives, whatever, right? The peaches, when they get big, they do that, and I'm sitting here, bonk. And so, yeah, I left that one girl. There was a girl that was buzzing the heck out of me. I caught her with my butterfly net, and I put her in a jar, and there she stayed. And so, yeah, some of these bees can be so aggressive. Just one, most of the time, just one has lost her mind. What? I'm gonna catch you. Careful, careful. I'm gonna get you. Uh-huh. Keep messing with me. I'll be bagging you and then tagging you. Okay. Your buzzer is a little too intense. I already took out your sister. Did I get you? No? I'm gonna get you. Got her. And you just stay down there for a while. Yeah. So typically I would only have one come out like that and be really aggressive. And so, if each hive has one or two of those, I'm going to be doing that more often. Yeah. Too many. So here's the other one. Yeah, you got too aggressive, girl. And then I got this one who's also being really aggressive. And by eliminating these really aggressive ones, it's just going to make it easier for me to get around. So I just kind of pinch her off in there, let her go to the top, and then just slide this down, and there she is. And there she'll stay. I put her back there, get these stress pheromones away from me. And so that's how I take care of the ones that become really aggressive. And I just feel safer, and there's probably be less stress pheromones in the air, and yeah, when I did that earlier, I was fine for the whole time I was here because I wanted. That was yesterday, so I just wanted to sit here and watch how many bees were going in the box. There was a lot of them going in there yesterday, and so there's a lot of them in there today. I had those 5 frames in there, and so yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to give an update on day 2 of the pre-swarm activity and what to look for. So after 3 days, if I don't have a swarm, I'm done. I'm just gonna. It's over. They went somewhere else. Yeah. So it's after 4, so they didn't go in it today. And you've seen the one in the cherry tree. They didn't go in that one. Once they select a box, they're going in the other one too. Okay. Once they select that box, no matter how many boxes I got out that were having groups of bees in it all at the same time, that all stops. They all pass each other the memo. They come and get the groups that's in the other box. Hey, we found a place. Come on. Come on, Mary Lou. We're done here. Stop wasting your time and energy. And then all those groups, wherever they might be, maybe on people's other property, maybe they're looking elsewhere too, not just my property. And so once they find a place, well, all those groups, could be a dozen separate groups from the same hive looking for a place. And because I've seen them I've had 11 out. I've had 11 baited nukes out, and there was groups in each one of them, 11. So, so they'll, once they select that home, they all get together and go swarm out together like birds of a feather. Or feathers on a bird makes more sense. Feathers on a bird, birds of a feather. What does that even mean? I don't know. Those old sayings that you think about them, you go, huh? That don't even make no right sense. Oh shoot. So yeah, I watered this peach tree really heavy last night, and that peach tree is selecting its own peaches to keep, and there is hundreds, if not thousands, of peaches that I've dropped on the ground. Good for you, peach tree. Good job. Still got a ways to go. Keep dropping. Thin yourself out some more. And so there you go. 4 healthy hives, and the odds are high I'll have a 5th one on the way. 5 alive. Yeah. That one, she's laying eggs. I saw them a few days ago when I did an inspection. But she's laying them in small groups, just a little at a time, just to maintain the size of that hive. Every once in a great while, about every 3 weeks, I see an orientation flight. Same thing with that one. And with that one, the exact same thing I saw last year with that queen. She would lay briefly for a day or something, or two, and I would see no orientations. Every day I come out, what? 3 weeks or longer. This girl takes long brood breaks. Good, right? That is so good. Those bromides, there was a few at first when I caught them, but about a month later or so, that count went to a few to 0, and it stayed 0 for the whole summer, right? And so, and that's the queen I want. So if these queens over here that I caught last month, in the last month or so, if they're massive producers, eventually I'm going to eliminate those hives and try to get queens from these hives here, and make those my permanent hives, because that's the genetic connection that I want, right? The genetic line that I want to keep. I don't want nothing that has farm bees instincts to just mass produce. Like that's what might be this one here. She might have came from generation from California. Those are mass producing queens over there, so they can sell bee packages faster and make more bees, sell more packages, make more money. They see those as prize queens. I see those as junk queens, right? So I was saying that us backyard beekeepers, I think it's best that we share our experiences back and forth on YouTube, because the way we need to manage our beehives, our few beehives that we have, is not going to be the same as someone who has hundreds or thousands, right? Those are farmers. We're not a farmer. We're not a bee farmer. We are the majority in the world, right? As far as the amount of people who own beehives. So we are the majority on planet Earth. Individuals who have a few beehives in their backyard. Mark has a few, Sue has a few over there, right? And they're scattered all over the place, a few here and there dotted. And so it would be wise for us, especially as folks who don't want to spend a lot of money buying bee packages, buying this and buying that and buying this. We want to keep it so that it's bare minimum expense, even to the point to where it costs nothing. Because if we have a queen that takes long brood breaks and she manages a sustainable size of the hive and not focused on expansion and then swarming out, they're obviously going to take a lot less resources. And you're far less likely to have to spend money on sugar syrup or feeding them, because they'll store that, as long as we have a super or a brood box for them to store throughout the spring, whatever they can store during the summer, the fall, they'll store enough, right? Because she keeps that quantity just perfect, smaller, easier to manage, less to feed, and that's what we really want, right? But yet strong enough to where, in spring they come out, she lays quite a bit faster, quite a bit more, including drones. There's a lot of nectar and pollen to get in spring, so she will grow early on, like in April, March, April, maybe even February. This girl here, she took off in January, before January, probably middle of December. This girl here laid thousands every day. That hive grew so fast. Came April 1st when I popped that top. There was solid bees from the very top above the frames all the way down to the bottom on all the frames. Yeah, they were ready to split, swarm out, and so so that's the kind of girl I like. You know, pollen season on, nectar season on. You grow the hive right before. Go out and get all that nectar for the honey and pollen, and pack every cell possible, and then come early summer, wind down to nothing. Just chill for the summer. Get through the dirt, you know, when the pollen's and nectar's slow and everything's okay. We got plenty of storage where you don't need to tap into that because we can still find enough to maintain this size of hive. And then she takes that into winter. That's what this girl did. Perfect. Right? That's what all backyard beekeepers really want, or should have, in my opinion, in general. Oh, there come a lot more peaches. Good for you, wind. I put this on in case they blow into my face. Those girls blow into my face. Yeah, this is when it's dangerous. Blowing the bees from over there. Yeah, over there. Oh, they're starting to. Oh, that's probably the wind. I was going to say they're starting to do an orientation flight here and there, but I think what's happening is the wind is blowing them, and then the girls that were already coming in and out. Oh, no. Actually, that looks like an orientation flight right there. Small one. I like small ones. I like small orientation flights. That tells me she's managing that hive, so she's replacing the bees as needed instead of just blowing up the hive. That is a nice little orientation. Yeah, sweet. I've seen them so large they just filled this cove. That is a nice little sweet orientation there. Perfect. I wish all my hives behaved like that one right there. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. Nice little orientations. Big one means she's producing a lot, and so when you see that, like big, huge groups, she's laying a lot of eggs, right? That means danger for your hive because that can explode the varroa mites really quick. Yeah, because they can only produce when there is an egg, a queen lays an egg in that larvae. Those varroa mites lay their eggs to feed off the bee larvae, and that's the only way varroa mites can repropriate. And they can live like up to 6 months, if not longer. Those varroa mites, yeah, and bees can too. Winter bees, yeah, they can live for 200 and something days, right around there. The ones that she lays in late fall or early fall, yeah, those are winter bees. They can last for a couple hundred days. So fairly equivalent to a varroa mite's lifespan. And so yeah, it's really cool. I don't see any more deformed wing viruses on my bees. I've seen that all through the winter, and even going into spring, I've seen DWV on my bees coming out. Some of them, especially the drones. And I don't see any. The drones don't have it. The bees don't have it. They cured themselves. They bred it out. Yeah. They probably use Wonder Bread. And so, yep, pretty simple day. Okay, typically they would swarm in before now. So this other one that I caught they swarmed in at noon. Maybe a few minutes earlier than that, 11:50 or something. They swarmed in early. The reason why I sensed that is because when I came out around 12:30, there were still some parts of groups still in some of the other baited nukes. So they had just swarmed into the cherry tree one in the front, and I just missed it. by that much. And yeah, I really want to get this Frosty the Snowman look on video. It is so cool. It's such a beautiful thing of nature to witness with your own eyeballs, right? You see something amazing like that, like, you know, it that snowman was the size from about this beehive almost to that fence. That's how long it was. It was a long snowman, like really long, big, huge balls. You know, covered that whole area back there as I saw it coming in. So cool to witness. So I've got these blackberries that are flowering, so they're all up in those today. Careful, I'll catch you too. You want to go in a jar? Put you in the corner. That's right, I'll put you in the corner. Yeah, in the corner of the jar. And so yeah, I could have these aggressive girls coming up, 5 of them eventually. Whatever the perimeter guard, you know, I can get one out of each one, and all of a sudden have 5 of them. You know, and so, but I'll take them out. I'm not gonna let those ones that are overly aggressive stick around. Um, I really like to be able to come here and just chill for as long as I want without getting, you know. I've been doing this for years, just coming here, sitting, and just chilling for as long as I wanted. Did you get inside of me? No? There you are. I'll put you with your sister. You're going to go with your sister. You and your sisters. All I want to do is dance with my sisters. Yeah, you're going to go with your sisters. Inside out. Yeah. Yeah, nice little orientation flight. Yeah, it's still going on. I used to be able to come out here because they did it a certain time of year. So in summer, spring, summer, late spring, like now, all through summer, they did it. It's 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna go watch the orientation flight. Come out here, take my break, you know, around 4 o'clock. Sure enough, there they were, doing the orientation flight. I seem to get a hole in the same spot. I got a hole in the same. Or maybe this ain't the same one. I got 2 of these, and I've got 2 of those full top suits. Get a tear, grab the other one. I had one bee, she almost made it through this little hole. Well, she was working at it too, trying to get through there. Just take a little bit of sewing string, stitch it up, or take some duct tape, like the Martian. Just, you know, just that'll stop them. They don't have a blind spot. Yeah, I'll just stitch that up. And so I'll probably do, now that I feel comfortable about having bees, because when I started, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, you know, or if I was even going to like beekeeping for sure, or whether I was going to have negative reactions to getting stung, or, you know, the real expense and time consume that would be necessary. So when I first bought my first double box hive, it was a brood and a super together with the frames. I decided, you know what? I'm going on Temu. I'm just going to buy the cheapest stuff I can get. Well, this was one, something like $4 or something. Got 2 of those. Then I got that suit there, like that. That was like about $8. Right, for that full top body suit. Those were like $8 a piece. And yeah, and then I got the gloves. Those were pretty cheap. And some basic other stuff, cheap as I can get it. And I thought, you know, see how it goes, because it don't make no sense to spend thousands of dollars in starting something that you're not even sure that you're going to be really either good at, or really maybe even interested for sure. You know, you just want to explore it and see how it goes, but you don't want to spend thousands to get started on your exploration expedition. And so Yeah, I do things on the cheap side when I initiate something. Usually, if I can, there's a way to do it. Do it cheaply. Make it myself if I can. Like all the hives that I made them all from scrap stuff, old projects. I kept the wood from it. Yeah. I went to Lowe's the other day and picked up as much wood as they let me have, scrap wood, but they didn't have the right kind. But I got some that I can make like frames from. They gave me some scrap wood that I can make the frames, so I got that, and really good solid wood, and for free. And so I just need to find some little pieces of 3/4 inch scrap wood that'll do the trick. What? You want to get? I'm going to put you in a corner. You want to go in a corner? Huh? What do you want? Make up your mind. No, I don't want to go in a corner. Okay. I'm going to join your permanently sleeping sister. I usually will give them a chance to fly away. It's the ones that hang around for like 12 minutes straight and buzz me intensely. Um, those are the ones. Those are the ones. Nope. Those are the ones that I will discard. And the ones that have only been buzzing me a short time, if I don't really want to buzz in my face at that moment, I just do this, put them in the net and leave them there until I leave. And then if they buzz me the next day like that, and they do it too long, well, they go in the corner permanently. The permanent corner jar. Now they're still orientating over there. That's a long time. Typically it's like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes for each one to get a sense, do that full orientation. Sometimes it could take longer. It's just not every bee has the same IQ. Kind of like humans, huh? Not everybody has that. So, yeah. And some days it's really quick. It's like I come out here and they start orientating, and 5 minutes later, it's all gone. It's done. They did their duty and they took off and went to get food. All right, well, that's it. I just wanted to give an update on the progression of the activity of the pre-swarm stuff. I got a sense they're going to go in there, but it's hard to say because the one in the front looks pretty similar. That one has 6 frames with 2 of them in the middle have some comb on them. You stay in there for now, you little pest. And so there you go. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment, click the like, and you have a good day. Bye now. You hear? Do the Macarena. I'm buzzing out of here. I'm gonna let you go, girl.